50 Cent just cracked open every hidden clue surrounding the murders of Tupac and Biggie. And once you start lining everything up, one thing becomes clear: this story doesn't stop with Diddy. Newly surfaced footage from Quad Studios, showing the moment Tupac was shot nearly 30 years ago, has brought the past screaming back to life. In this video, we're dissecting every frame, every interview, and every detail right up until Biggie's death to expose the clues 50 Cent just dragged back into the light.
Tupac and Biggie. I think both of these dudes were assassinated in some kind of way. More Biggie than Tupac. I think Tupac might have got killed by a dude that they had an incident with earlier that day. But Biggie's seems a little JFK. Governmental to me.
Developments in the case of Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, the man accused of orchestrating the murder of rap icon Tupac Shakur back in the 1990s. All these years later, the former gang leader is behind bars in Las Vegas and is insisting the case be thrown out. And he is implicating another music legend who's making headlines, Sean Diddy Combs. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis is said to be behind one of the most infamous killings in history. Tupac Shakur, the 90s rap superstar, was gunned down while riding in a car with Suge Knight after the Mike Tyson fight at the MGM Grand. And over the years, there have been multiple investigations into Tupac Shakur's murder, but there has been one man who has seemed to implicate himself in the assassination again and again and again: Dwayne Davis.
To understand how this all spiraled, you have to rewind to the early 90s. On the West Coast, it was Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and Tupac running the culture. On the East Coast, Biggie and Puffy were building their own empire. These were the biggest names in music, creating some of the most iconic rap ever recorded. Tupac quickly cemented himself as a leader, but everything shifted when Biggie dropped Ready to Die. Puffy controlled Bad Boy Records, and Biggie was his golden ticket.
Bros, I want to go back to this interview that he did with Rolling Stone. He said that Diddy, he was jealous of the relationship between Tupac and Big. And he also went on to say that Diddy, he wanted to be friends with Tupac, but Tupac wasn't interested.
Diddy and Tupac was friends at first, bro. I remember the time me and Diddy rolled up to Pac in, I think it's what's the name of that club? The Roxy. There was some kind of concert going on, and they was talking and everything. They had a friendship. I don't know why their friendship fell out. Their friendship was before Biggie and Pop. So I don't know why they fell out. I know every girl that Tupac had, Puff wanted and got. So did he have jealousy? Yeah, he had a jealousy of Pac. But I think that it was more so that he knew Big was the meal ticket, and that Pac wanted Big to be with him with Thug Life, but he didn't have the money at the time. And when Big got the money from Puff, Pac gave him the blessings to go with him, but he also told Big that he had to watch Puff because Puff was going to rob him blind.
When Biggie's album dropped, Tupac was instantly impressed. He started spending time with Biggie, and that's when Puffy started feeling threatened. Puffy knew if Biggie ever chose Tupac and Death Row over Bad Boy, his entire operation would crumble. He tried pulling Tupac closer, but Pac saw through it. Real recognized real, and Puffy wasn't it.
So do you think Puffy was involved in the shooting?
Only they can answer that question. I have my own opinion, but I wouldn't slander their name like they did mine. I wouldn't say things that I knew, you know what I mean? I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I can say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it didn't happen, or that's the only thing that makes this become an issue to everybody. Because you seen what I said in the Vibe article. I basically bowed out and was going to go ahead about my life. The next issue, that wasn't even the next issue, because them cowards waited about 4 issues before they got their story together. 4 issues later, half of New Yorkers commenting on me getting shot. And before, they was all like, we didn't see nothing. In the first issue, read it, Vibe viewers. Nobody seen shit. The 4th issue, when they came back with a reply, everybody knew what I did. They knew what I said. I was acting. Who gets shot 5 times in acts? Oh, I didn't get shot 5 times in their vision. I only got shot once because they found the bullet. The police found it, but now they the cops. Now they doing detective work. They found the bullet. Oh, you found the bullet, huh?
Then everything changed. As this story keeps showing us, Puffy allegedly chose violence as a solution. On November 30th, 1994, Tupac was robbed and shot multiple times in the lobby of Quad Recording Studios in Manhattan while arriving for a late-night session. Police called it a robbery, but none of Pac's jewelry was taken. Later, Tupac openly said he believed Diddy was behind the shooting. Still, he never went
Thing about 50 Cent's Netflix Diddy documentary is how he built a timeline off of this information. And one of my favorite parts of this documentary is them really getting into the timeline of events when it comes to Tupac and Biggie. And it really gives us a lot of perspective from people that were close to the situation, and a lot of people allege in this documentary that they believe that Diddy was very jealous of Tupac. And they pretty much go through everything from the Quad incident and Tupac believing that Puffy was behind it, like he said in the Vibe interview, and they lay out this whole timeline of the downfall happening perfectly, in my opinion. We are even hearing from Greg Kading, the detective that worked on Tupac and Biggie's case in this documentary. He is the investigator that did that proffer agreement with Keefe D way back in 2008, where Keefe D alleged that Diddy tried to offer him $1 million to take out Tupac and Suge Knight. And Tupac's trial with Keefe D is coming up very soon in early 2026. And we know that Diddy's name has been dropped at least 200 times during these proceedings already. So this is one case that I am definitely waiting for and I am going to cover. In Keefe D's 2008 proffer agreement, he alleged that Diddy's friend Zip Martin is the one that gave him the weapon that was used to take out Tupac. And Keefe D told the investigator Greg Kading that Zip Martin had a special compartment to keep this weapon in his car that he drove to Las Vegas. And in this documentary, we have Greg Kading confirming that Zip Martin did drive the same type of vehicle that Keefe D alleged to Las Vegas this night. And then during this documentary, we heard from the former president of Bad Boy, Kirk Burroughs, who alleged during this time, Diddy had him hiring a whole bunch of people and getting cars to drive to Las Vegas. And he is now very curious into why Diddy wanted to do this. And he said, in his opinion, he now believes that Diddy was behind taking out.
Diddy denied any involvement, but Tupac didn't buy it. Pac had come to Quad to see Biggie, and in his mind, both Biggie and Puffy shared the blame. Trust died that night. That single moment ignited the East Coast. West Coast War One that would eventually leave both Tupac and Biggie dead.
That claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because you listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody to kill Pac? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, maybe I said that shit about Puffy because he got Tupac killed.
After the Quad Studio shooting, Tupac responded the only way he knew how, through music. Diss tracks aimed at Biggie, and Diddy poured fuel on the fire. Tensions escalated until history repeated itself. Nearly 2 years later, on September 13, 1996, Tupac was killed in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas.
Investigation in the early 2000s. The filing reads, the 3 LAPD and FBI agents were part of a task force to solve the shooting of rapper Notorious B.I.G., also known as Biggie Smalls, legal name Christopher Wallace. The task force, through a sophisticated criminal investigation, obtained sufficient evidence that would prove Mr. Davis was the leader of the Southside Crips and his gang was responsible for over 360 kilos of cocaine and PCP. Mr. Davis provided 3 interviews to obtain immunity from prosecution. The final interview were solely questions regarding the Tupac Shakur shooting, which Mr. Davis was also provided immunity from prosecution. So during a December 2008 interview with investigators, that is when Davis allegedly started to spill the beans about his one-time friend, Sean Combs, who he refers to as Puffy. He claims Sean Puffy Combs solicited Mr. Davis to kill Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur for $1 million. Eric Zip Martin, an associate of Puffy Combs, provided Mr. Davis with a gun to exact revenge on Tupac Shakur for the beating Mr. Anderson received. Now, Davis reportedly told the investigators that even though the job had been partially completed and Shakur was killed, neither he nor Anderson ever got paid. He later revealed that he believes Combs had paid the go-between Zip Martin, who he claims kept the money for himself. And he said much of the same thing in a 2009 interview a year later, because according to the motion to dismiss, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, as far back as 2009, was in possession of the same set of facts that the Clark County District Attorney is now alleging makes Mr. Davis responsible for the murder of Tupac Shakur. The Clark County District Attorney's Office has offered no reason as to why it waited another 14 years to prosecute a case against Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis has been irreversibly prejudiced by this unnecessary delay in prosecution.
$1 million, brother. You ain't going to cash that in the check cashing place. You signing that over to somebody. I said 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 times again. Eric Von Zip showed me and my man Boondang, aka my man Slick, a check for $1 million. We don't know, and everybody trying to say, lying, talking about half of it got paid, 500. I don't know. I know when I asked him about, we asked him, do we ask? No, we didn't ask him. I know when he showed us the check and he walked away after he showed us the check for the $1 million, you understand? I asked Boone, I said, yo, Boone, when did he get a record label? He said, you know how Zip is. I said, when did he get a Zip record label? Zip had a check for $1 million. He said he got it from Barry Hankerson and Jimmy Henchman for his record label, Black Ground Records. So now, if that's true, we know Jimmy Henchman and Puff was cool. You should be able to trace $1 million if that's the truth. If that's the truth, you should be able to trace that, where it came from. Why did he get it? Is that true that he sold a record label to them? And this was all after Pac's death.
Following Tupac's murder, an LAPD investigative unit was formed. At the time, they couldn't pin down who was responsible. But 27 years later, an arrest was finally made. Keefe D, also known as Dwayne Keith Davis, a former Southside Compton Crips member, charged in connection with Tupac Shakur's 1996 murder.
You something that's real true, and I've been wanting to tell you because we've been knowing each other, since we was kids. So Keefe D was like, look, I need the money. Puffy and them supposed to give me $1 million. They gave us most of the money, or half of the money. And that's how everything unraveled for is what happened in Vegas. At that time, I'm on parole. I look to the left, look to the right. The whole place is packed. So I'm like, I gotta go take a piss. Let's have this conversation in the restroom. He was like, man, I ain't going in that restroom with you. And good thing he didn't, because even though we was friends, but if a motherfucker paid you to kill us, I got a bullet into my skull, And one of the best friends I ever had in life is Pac. And he ain't here. I'm gonna beat the fuck out that nigga in that restaurant. You know, my blood was boiling. Somebody used to always say, but at the same time, I am an intelligent, wise man and a businessman. Since I can't do nothing to him, I might as well get him to answer some questions. So I doubled back on him and said, what you mean? He said, well, look, Puffy used to come to the hood.
Interview with the FBI in 1999, Davis apparently said something completely different. According to the FBI report, which was included in the motion to dismiss, Anderson was not involved in the shooting death of Tupac Shakur, and neither Davis nor his group killed Shakur or Christopher Wallace, aka Notorious B.I.G. Davis does not know who killed the two rap stars. He believes that either individuals from New York associated with Puffy Combs or individuals associated with Death Row Records could have killed Shakur, and that individuals associated with Death Row Records killed Wallace. Okay, so again, changing stories. And by the way, Davis goes on to say that he was introduced to Combs in the early 90s by a man named Eric Zip Martin. This is another alleged drug dealer. And this is where we get into it. So the report reads, in or around 1992, Martin introduced Davis to Sean Puffy Combs. Davis recalls the introduction occurring at the Paradise nightclub on Santa Monica Boulevard. After speaking with Combs, Davis agreed to allow Combs to use his 1964 Chevy in a music video. The video featured the artist Usher. After the vehicle was damaged in the production of the video, Combs paid $2,500 to have it repaired. And by the way, according to Davis, Combs was scared of Suge Knight. And this was a man who had a reputation for being, sometimes violent and extreme. And that moves us now to this DEA report. So there was a DEA report from a 2008 task force meeting with Davis that was also included as an exhibit in the motion. And in it, Davis talks about the murder of a man named Jai Robles. This is Knight's bodyguard. He was killed in Atlanta in 1995. And according to Davis, he'd heard a rumor that an associate of Combs had killed Robles. The report says Combs requested to speak to Davis and asked Davis if he thought it was safe for Combs to come to Los Angeles for a concert. Combs expressed his concerns about Knight and possible retaliation related to the Robles murder. Davis advised Combs that he would provide 40 or 50 tickets to the concert. Davis could provide an entourage. Combs agreed, and Davis and his crew in fact attended the concert in support of Combs. Davis recalls the concert taking place in Anaheim, California. It was at this event that Combs began to solicit Davis to kill Knight and Shakur. Combs asserted something to the effect of, "I'll give anything for those dudes."
Las Vegas shooting. Suge Knight was struck in the head while Tupac was being shot. Years later, Suge confirmed that Keefe D had confessed to the killing, adding yet another piece to the puzzle.
Article in 2008 alleging he'd been involved in your brother's death. What did he say that day when he called you?
He was in town. He was in LA at the time. He was on the radio. He asked a local DJ that we all know, Big Boy, to reach out to me because he wanted to speak to me about something. This is a few years after Pac's murder, and we all were familiar with all the rumors and stuff. I said, yeah, let me talk to him. So he called me, and I had my guys with me, Thug Life guys, and we heard what he had to say. He basically said he ain't have nothing to do with my brother's murder. And I told him the truth is still yet to come out, so we're going to see. Here we are 27, 28 years later. Looks like there's some doubt in that statement. So, thus, along with all the other suspicions that people have, it was time for it to be investigated.
In a statement at the time, Diddy declared, "This story is a lie, the LA Times story. Neither I nor the late Notorious had any knowledge of any attack on Tupac before, during, or after it happened." Do you think that was an honest statement?
My opinion is that I don't believe it was 100% honest statement.
Back to Court TV Live, we are following new developments in the case of the hip-hop mogul who is facing RICO charges in New York, Sean P. Diddy Combs. Court TV has just confirmed that the family of Tupac Shakur is investigating a potential link between the murder of Tupac and Sean Diddy Combs. This coming from attorney Alex Spiro, who represents Tupac's family. Now, this investigation had been previously reported by unnamed sources, but earlier today, Spiro confirmed to our Court TV team that he and a team of investigators has been hired.
Sean Combs allegedly had business dealings with Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, who will go on trial next March for the murder of Tupac. This was back in 1996. Some have speculated that Diddy ordered Tupac's death. That, of course, is just a theory at this point, and we are monitoring the developments in both the Tupac murder trial and the federal indictment of Sean Diddy Combs. So a lot of information.
On Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, he's charged in the murder of Tupac Shakur. Davis was in court again this morning after a fight with another inmate. Fox 5's Mike Allen walks us through what happened.
Dwayne Davis is answering for a jailhouse brawl. Here's what court records show, along with images from surveillance video released by Las Vegas Justice Court. On December 23rd, Davis was being escorted back into his cell when another inmate, Rockland Hamilton, who's also facing a murder charge, is standing to the right by a sink in this room. Hamilton walked over to Davis and squared up, looking ready to fight. They started throwing punches and grappling, and the officer escorting Davis called for backup, gave verbal commands too for the inmates to stop fighting, and then hit them with pepper spray. Before backup officers arrived, the two inmates kept grappling and throwing punches and were eventually separated after backup officers got into the room. Both Davis and Hamilton faced battery by...
But one of the most disturbing revelations came much later. Nearly 20 years after Tupac's death, his brother Moprin Shakur revealed that Diddy had personally reached out to him about the shooting. Diddy has always denied wrongdoing and kept his distance, but that contact raised questions that never went away.
Right now, how much are you exaggerating? But you now as a rapper, when people coming to get you.
I ain't exaggerating at all, man. That's real, son. That's real, yo. I ain't exaggerating at all, man. The more money you make, the more problems you get. And jealousy and envy is something that comes with the territory, man. A lot of people, it's just negative energy, like my man Puff say. It just surrounds you. It makes you depressed, you know? So I got to rap about it. And that's one of the bad things about the game is when you get large, even your friends will turn against you, man. So I made a song about it.
But I mean, how real is your threat of like people constantly coming and wanting to
Oh,
shoot you?
man. I mean, that's real. I think about that every day. Every day it's real. That's how real it is. I think somebody's trying to kill me. I'll be waking up paranoid. I'll be really scared. I'll just be paro. That's just the way I am. You know. You see me? Scared to death.
6 months after Tupac's murder, in March 1997, Diddy sent Biggie to Los Angeles. Biggie didn't want to go. He was scared. He reportedly felt something was wrong, like death was closing in on him. Not long after, Biggie was gone too.
This, I get it. When you have a case that's 5 years old, it's hard to get overwhelming evidence that meets the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. When you have cases this old, no matter what Fiddy has found out and put in this documentary, do you see it at all ever possible that Diddy could be involved in a murder trial when it comes to Biggie and Tupac?
It could be possible, yes. However, like I said, they need a lot of corroboration to make that stick because it's really alleged right now as to his involvement. It's not anything that's substantial or concrete that he was involved. It's personally from people talking about it and saying this is what happened. You need some more information to come forward to prove that.
Now, investigators are once again looking at Puffy as a suspect in Tupac's shooting. Even back then, many people believed Diddy was responsible. It just wasn't safe to say it out loud.
Network has a new Diddy documentary coming out, and this time it is coming from the perspective of Diddy and his sons. All the time I thought we were about to leave Diddy in 2025. Well, this documentary is coming in 2026. And a lot of people, just like myself, are already not feeling this new documentary coming from Diddy's sons. A lot of people aren't happy about it and actually shocked that the owner of Zeus Network, Lemmy, is doing this Diddy documentary. But what a lot of people fail to forget is Lemmy and Diddy have been friends for quite some time.
Of his children arriving in court for day one of their father's sex trafficking trial in New York. Hands gripped in solidarity.
Do you still believe your dad's innocent? How did you feel hearing that testimony? You apologize on behalf of your father. Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you feel about your father? Your daddy got 4 years! Your daddy got 4 years for abusing women! That's wrong! You should have more!
The foes, the joy, the pain, our voice, the loyalty, the betrayal, the lies, the love, the hate, the truth, the lies. And Diddy calling from Fort Dix.
This is a prepaid collect call from Federal Correctional Institution, Fort Dix.
When they released this trailer last night, there were so many comments to Lemmy and Zeus Network that they did not want to see this. A lot of people feel like this whole new documentary is just a PR narrative once again being pushed by Diddy and his sons to try to clean up his image. And after hearing certain things on 50 Cent's Netflix documentary, we have to go back in time and remember what we were seeing during trial. Even when it came to Diddy's sons, Christian and Justin Combs, they both came on 2 separate occasions to trial wearing a free Sean